Good evening, ladies. I hope you're doing well, that maybe you even got outside a little today, even though they did say there was poor air quality. So tonight is the night that we are going to do a super fun and amazing card. I know you're thinking it's a little intimidating, but it really isn't. Yes, it has lots of parts, but it's gonna be a-okay. I will give it a moment to see who's gonna join me tonight. Okay, so far nobody. This card has a lot of parts, but the parts kind of repeat themselves. Hey, Mary Lynn. Are you ready for this fun card? It's going to be a good one. I promise you, it really is easy once you see how to put it together. It's going to be fine. Okay, let's kind of go over the parts that we need. So I'm going to start with like the easy stuff. I have a tag that's roughly 2 by 4, and then I have another circle element and a floral element. So that's kind of going to be like my decoration. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm using black cardstock, so if you're not using a dark color, you won't need this piece, okay? You're gonna love this card, I'm telling you. So if you have dark cardstock that you're using for the actual Z fold, the triple Z fold part, you will want a piece of white that is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm gonna set that aside. Okay, so for the main part, these are all the parts. I'm going to do this first part here. You needed a piece that was 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Okay, I'm just going to open this up to kind of show you. You are going to have a piece of pattern paper that is 2 1/2 by 4. That's going to go right there. You're going to have another piece of pattern paper that is 2 1/2 by 4 also, and that's going to go there. And then that same first piece, you're going to have it where it is 4 by 5 1/4. So this is the first part of the Z. I'm just going to fold that and set that aside for a moment. We're going to bring in the medium Z, okay? So that is going to be 3 by 11, and it's scored at 4 and 6 3/4. And again, I'm going to open this up. And now I'm using the same papers. I'm just kind of putting them in a different order, okay? So the first piece I have here is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. That's going to go there, roughly. Now I have that pink plaid piece that's 2 1/2 by 2 3/4. That's going to go in the middle. And then I have another 2 3/4 by 4. That's going to go at the end. So it's just repeating, but it was opposite of the first part. All right, we'll be back to this in a second. I'm going to set that aside. And now we're going to bring in the third Z, because it's a triple Z card, Z fold. You needed a 1 1/2 by 11, and it's scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. And now for your parts. For this, you will have that real pretty pink because you're repeating your pattern. 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to open that up. I'm going to put that gold piece here, 1 1/4 by 2 1/2. And then my pink, that's the same as this, 1 1/4 by 2 1/2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with this piece here, and we're going to start putting our pattern papers down first. Okay, so I'm going to take my sticky notes off. And I'm not going to do anything special to the papers. I'm going to keep them very plain, very neutral. I'm going to start with my 1 1/4 by 2 1/2. It's that plaid piece. And I'm going to put it at the end of that 1 1/2 by 11. So this is going into that last section because you'll have 3 sections. Okay, so this is the last section, I should say. Okay, so now I'm going to have another piece that was 1 1/4 by 2 1/2. And I'm going to just line that up, kind of eyeballing, making sure that what's here is here and that they kind of line up next to each other. And now I'm going to take the piece that was 1 1/4 by 5 1/4 because it matches that last section. This is going in that first section. When I saw this card, I was like, oh, yeah, we have to try this out. Okay, so this is think about it as this is the 3rd Z. We're going to set it up there. Let's go back to the 2nd Z, which is the kind of like the medium-ish. Medium fold. And I'm going to open up my fold. And we're going to start to adhere our pattern papers again. We're going to start with the last 2 3/4 by 4. If I can get that off. And as usual, this tutorial will move over to the YouTube channel. I don't know, probably soon. Obviously we're still doing tonight's class, but I still have Wednesday, aka last Sunday Funday. I haven't done that one yet either. We're going to take our pattern paper, the pink pattern. See how we're opposites. 2 1/2 by 2 3/4. And I'm going to, oops, there we go. Make sure you're putting your rectangle going the correct direction. And you're just eyeballing that they line up at the bottom and they line up at the top. Okay, so this was that 3 by 11, scored at 4 6 3/4. And I'm going to take that last piece of pattern paper. This would be an absolutely gorgeous wedding card. Just saying. This would be stunning. Or something that's for like a very special person. I mean, this is not just your run-of-the-mill kind of card. I'm going to set that up there. We're going to bring in the base or the last part of the Z. And I'm going to do my 4 by 5 1/4, which is the same as that front. And I'm going to put it in the last section. This would also be, you have somebody very special to you and maybe they're graduating from college or they're retiring or, a very big milestone in somebody's life. This is not just one of those run-of-the-mill type of cards. This is for somebody who is going to appreciate your work. Okay, let's do our middle section, 2 1/2 by 4. And of course, tonight is not showing me who's on. So thank you for being here. And again, just lining up your tops and your bottoms. And we'll do that last piece, the last 2 1/2 by 4. And then I'll give you a minute to make sure that you are right with me. Okay, this will be considered our base. While you're doing that, I am going to stamp my sentiment for the back of the card. And let's see, I think I'm going to do this right here, wishing you all the best. Or maybe this one, you're on my mind and in my heart. No, yeah, I think I might do that one. You're in my mind and in my heart. This is from Friendly Foliage. So let's see, where is it? It's right there. I'm going to put it on my block. And I think today I'm actually going to use Real Red instead of Strawberry Slush. And again, with my Stampin' Up ink pad, I really want to go in gently. I don't want to be a big smush. I just want to do a tap, 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 because their ink pads are definitely much juicier than a Close to My Heart ink pad. And I'm going to put this up a little higher than normal. Let's let it soak in. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely lovely. All right, let's close it because you know what will happen. I will be covered in red. All right, I'm going to move my stamps aside. Now this piece is going to go on the back right here. So I'm going to put that on now. Okay, I'm just kind of eyeballing it into the center. Perfect. Now I'm going to open it back up and we're going to grab our middle piece. Now this middle piece, we are going to be putting our adhesive on the back of this and the first. So 1 and 3 are where our adhesives are going to go, but we're going to only do the backs, the third panels first. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to be placing that right here in this far corner. Let me just double check that I'm correct. I am. Okay, so I'm going to put my adhesive all through here. And you might want to make sure that you are using a nice strong adhesive and don't be chintzy. So if I'm looking, this is like a Z, right? So I'm going to do this third panel and I'm going to put it so it's all the way flush to the bottom, all the way to the far right side of my card base. So this is still loose. I have not attached anything here and I'm just going to set it there. Okay, so far, if I pick this up, this is what we're looking at so far. And I'll put it this way so you can see it this direction. And if I go here, you're going to see it that way too. We will attach that in a minute, but let's continue putting these parts on first. This is that smallest panel. And again, that's going to go all the way to that far side. Because if you think about it, it's going to lay like this. So it'll look like some stairs. Just like that. And then when it closes, it'll lay like this. It's looking pretty good, huh? All right, so let's put our adhesive on the back of this part, that small, the third panel. And again, Don't be chintzy on your glue. So I'm going to go to that far bottom right corner, and I'm going to lay it there. Okay, so this is still loose, this is still loose, and this is still loose. Are we good? I'll give you a second, because that's a lot of information. And while you're doing that, I'm just gonna clean up the top of my table here. That's all. So now what we want to do is we want to close the card. Close your card completely. So now you're going to see this panel here, and this is going to lay on top. My suggestion to you will be is to put your adhesive physically on this first panel so that you don't accidentally put it in the middle of the second panel. So let me say that again. We're going to put our adhesive here on the first panel. And because we have this piece here, we can see how far we have the height. Because again, we don't want it here. We only needed it in this corner. But by bringing it and kissing the two pieces together, that is going to help us. So now I'm just pressing, making sure my adhesive is getting put together. So far, so good. Right? Again, keep your base closed. You see the height of where you need your adhesive. So I'm going to do my adhesive again. Only that 1 1/4 inch height. As I got a little overzealous here. Now I can bring this panel over, and I'm going to let these two kiss together. Now let's open our card. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's so pretty. And I cut that piece wrong, but it's okay. It's all right. Because that's the only one where the gold is going across. All the rest are going up and down. It's fine. If somebody nitpicks that, guess what? They're never getting another homemade card. All right, now we have the fun part, the embellishing part to do. So I'm going to bring in my tag. And this is real red. So that's going to kind of go, I don't know. I don't know where or how I want it. Do I want it like that? Oh, that's not bad. Kind of like it like that. Okay, so let's do a little decorating. I have this circle element, and then I was going to put this floral element over it. All right, so we will need our Bearly Art, and I do need a sentiment for the inside. So let's see what else we had on here. Here for you always. Now, does that kind of go with you are on my mind and in my heart? Kinda. Wishing you all the best. Get well soon. Thinking of you. That works, but it's too long and I don't want to cut this stamp. All right, I think I'm going to go with wishing you all the best. No, here for you all. I like here for you always. I like that. I think that's a very pretty sentiment. So we're going to do that. And since this is going on to my real red tag, now I am going to bring in the strawberry slush as my other color. right, again, I'm just going to lightly tap and kiss my ink and center that in the circle. Oh, pretty. That I think I am going to foam. So let's get some foam tape. Actually, let's use some dimensionals instead. Next week, we will be making, is it next week? I think so. Yes, we'll be making a little box. A cute little treat box will be next week. All right, I'm going to center my sentiment, and I definitely want it like centered inside this tag. Right there. Perfect. And now I'm just going to lay it like that so that I can kind of see, because not everything is going to need that liquid adhesive. Let's grab a pair of tweezers. I think that would be just, a little easier for me. There we go. I guess gluing requires a lot more of my brain power. All right, I'm going to let this go underneath that circle. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's very pretty. Okay. And of course I got some glue there. So let's see if I can carefully rub that off. Yes. Yes, I can. Okay. My little wreath. Now the little wreath came from the, oh, where did it come from? It came from the Advent calendar that Stampin' Up had back in November and December. And I think right now it's in the last chance section. So let's see. I am going to place this so that it's going to hover this first panel of all 3 layers. So I'm going to, let's see, we're going to place that there. Let me go upside down. There we go. Okay, I think I did pretty good on that one. All right, I had to be mindful not to put adhesive on this upper right-hand corner because then it would have closed my card completely. Perfect. Okay, let's add some, I think I'm going to add some hearts. No, I'm going to add some gems. Let's add some gems. So I am going to pull in the Petal Pink and Strawberry Slush gems from the summertime. And I'm going to go with the darker color tonight. So Mary Lynn, do you think this card was horrible to make? Or once you saw how really easy, even though it had so many parts, it really was an easy card for us to do. And there we go. I might put a little ribbon up there. I don't like having a naked tag hole up there. So, but overall, it really was an easy card. It was just a lot of cutting. That's all. Easy peasy. And then you would just sign your name and your little sentiment right here on the back side. I hope you all enjoyed this. This was a fun card. And like I said, it is more of a card for a special person or a special event, like a wedding or a graduation or a confirmation or a baptism or a communion, something that has a little more significance where maybe the person would actually hold on to your card. But it is a lovely, lovely card. And somebody's going to go, oh my goodness, that's a lot of work. But as you can see, it took us 30 minutes, no, not even, 25 minutes to do the entire card. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next Sunday for Sunday Funday, where we'll be making a little treat box. Enjoy and good night.